Hello again. So I've got these two GHD. These are the SS5 model. They're just the straighteners, but they're a wide plate version on these. So I've got both of these in. I've got an issue with them. Don't know what the issue is. So I'm just going to work on one of them for now. So the first thing I do when I get any straighteners in, any GHD straighteners, I just pop the caps off here, and that tells me whether they're genuine or they're fake. They're genuine. I know just off one side. Yeah, they're really genuine. If it was fake, they'd have a tiny little screw on one side and a plastic, so they'd have a plastic bit here, and then they'd have a tiny little screw and a massive washer on this side. But these, you got Phillips on both sides, so yeah, I can just tell they're genuine. Because without that, it is quite hard. It's quite difficult to tell whether they're genuine or not. So I've just got these plugged in. I've switched them on, but I've no light out of them at all. You should switch that on, it should beep, and then you should get an orange pulsating light on there. And then when they're fully heated, I think that stays on, or it's the other way around. I'm not sure. It's quite a while since I've done this particular model anyway. Yeah, a bit of crud. Right, so we need to get into them. So what I do, that one. Where's the other one? Let's see if I can use this. This might do it. Right, what we need is, that's not even a Phillips. See if I can get it with a flathead, because I don't know where the other Phillips is at the minute. Yeah, so what we need to do is, we need to get, okay, I'm not going to do it this way because I'm going to end up slipping and damaging myself. We need to get a Phillips in that side, a Phillips in that side, and then crack it open. I'm not going to do that because, like I say, it's just going to, as soon as I put pressure on, it's going to slip off and it's going to either damage me or damage the straighteners. So I'm just going to now put it between my legs and then just I'll put it on reverse. So I've just got it now in between my legs. Got a screwdriver either side. There we go. Right, so that come off quite good, to be honest. Sometimes it can be a right pain in the arse to do. I've had to drill it out before now. They've been that tight and seized and solid. Anyway, so that's that out. So you're just left with that. All I do, poke it through, take that bit out. Put my mat up there. That then, you'll be able to undo that, such you've got a white plastic piece in there. You push that through to the other side, and then that reveals your spring. So your spring sits in there, really, in your arm. You're then left with, you can get them side by side. So all I do now, because I don't know which side is which, don't know which side is at fault. It could be the side that you've got your thermal fuse in, or it could be the side that you've got your R8, R11 and your microchipping. So I always just take both sides off anyway. The first thing I would check, or really that I should have checked before I started taking everything apart, is the fuse. The only reason I've not done that is 99.9% of the time it's not the fuse and the plug top. But I am just going to check it anyway. Now this should be a 5 amp fuse and it's a 3 amp, so it could be, let me just get my continuity. That fuse is actually alright. I'm going to swap that out for a 5 amp though. Yeah, I'll swap that out for a 5 amp. Let me just, I'll put that back in for now, but at least we know it's not the fuse. Put it in that way. But I will swap that out shortly. Right, so this is your switch side, your non-switch side. So in here now you've got, I'll zoom in a little bit. Oh, maybe a bit too much. There we go. So you've got your R11 and your R8 resistors. You hear people talking about them all the time. So that could be a potential issue with either one of them. Or you've got your thermal fuse, which is these wires, these wires here, your outer wires on your switch side. So it could be, it's more than likely that fuse that's gone. That's what I see 90% of the time. Again, I'm in continuity mode, so I'm just going to touch on there, and that fuse is gone. Let me zoom out. I'm going to check, I'm going to test now your R11 and your R8 resistors. So I'm just going to zoom out. I'm going to put my meter into Holmes reading, and I'm just going to go across your R11. That should read about 50. Yeah, 51, that's fine. If you was reading around, well, and that's 51, they're fine. So there's nothing wrong with them, so I can put that cover back on. If you touched on and your resistors were reading very high, like 200 or 80 or anything above, I'd say 60, then I'd change them. Right, let me have a sort out. Yeah, I'd change them. You just get new 50 ohm resistors of the right size. I don't know why I'm taking that out. So all I'm going to do now is undo all these 4 screws and take this plate out completely. Lose the screws in the meantime. There we go. So these any GHD Straightners that suddenly stop working, 9 times out of 10 it's the heating, it's either the thermal fuse or one of the heating elements has gone, or a cable socket sort of issue, something along them lines. Just going to get rid of these, put them to one side. So let me get my thermal fuses. So I've got plenty of thermal fuses there. So all I do with this is take it forward, and then I just, so your thermal fuse, I'll just show you now. Your thermal fuse is, you've got your 2 brown wires coming off it. So that is basically what's in there. Your 2 wires here, I just cut them. All I do, I just go in there and I just cut them wires off. You don't want to be cutting everything off, but just make sure you cut them wires off. Pull them out. that's still attached. Not now. And then I grab hold of the thermal fuse, a little bit of wire that's left, and I basically just pull it up and out. What I used to do when I first started, let me just see if I can get that up a little bit. What I used to do when I very first started doing these was actually taking all this apart and taking the heating element out, and I thought, well, let me see if I can just put a new one in while everything's in. Anyway, it worked out and it was fine, so it just saved, it saves me like half an hour's work, really. And if you're doing quite a few of them, then it does mount up, to be fair. Right, push that in. Right, fitting your new one couldn't be easier. So you got your little silicone tube there where your wires come through, just to keep them off the heating, off your plate really when it's on. So all I do now, I feed my new fuse wires through there. So your fuse can go anywhere up, but I like to do the white bit down, which just, yeah, is what it is. I just put my initial on there. There we go. That way, if I ever get a pair of straighteners come back saying, oh, it's not working, I'll say, well, you know, I'm sorry about that. I'll get it in. First thing I check is this actually one that I've been working on, or has people sent me their old one? Anyway, I'm going down a rabbit hole there. I'm only mentioning that because I've been caught out quite a few times on eBay when I first started, and then soon learnt my lesson really. There we go. So I've now got both of them through, so that's fine. I'll take them back out ever so slightly. And then put the fuse back in its holder. So I need to go to the outside. And that's it, job done. That's your new fuse installed into its right place. So now it's just a matter of putting it back into its correct place. Now, if you forgot, and I did when I first started, oh shit, where does that go? Where does this go? It's actually marked up on the board, fuse. Yeah, on your outer ones there, on your two outer ones, it's marked up there, fuse. So you can't go wrong. So as long as you get that facing upwards, then you can't go wrong with it. And it job done. Put your covers on so I haven't disturbed. I'll turn that off. Doesn't matter putting the lid on, you can leave it in any position you wish. I will say though, alright, it's not, oh yeah, it's on the next one. How easy it is. It's also quite dangerous because you're working on. Oh, hang on, darling. Right, back again. Okay, so where was I? Oh yeah, putting this on. I don't know what I was saying then. Oh yeah, don't follow anything that you see on here. This is just giving you an insight into the repairs that I do. So it's purely for entertainment purposes only. Don't know why I said it like that. It's because it's Friday, bank holiday weekend coming up. Sun's out and I'm on an early day today at work. I'm on a quick shift today on a Friday. And if I get these repaired in time, I'm going to come in and get the money for them. Perfect. All I was doing then, I was just making sure, testing that when you press them it should give a little bit, both sides. That's what them little silicone pads underneath the heating plates, the heating elements were for. When you're putting this side in, the non-switch side, which you don't always have to take off by the way, unless it's your R8 and R11, you've got this little groove here in the cover. That groove fits in to, where is it? That rigid part there, it fits in there. So just make sure that you've nothing going on, you've no wires crossing over there, you've no wires crossing here either. Really, that red should be round there like that. Actually, as long as that's in there, perfect. That just keeps all your wires out of harm's way, I guess. Yeah, it's quite an easy repair as a thermal fuse. The only thing is, why did it blow in the first place? So I've just got to now switch them on, monitor it, and just get the heat output of the elements, and just see what sort of heat. Because if they're kicking out too much heat, then your fuse is going to go. It's only good for. Ooh, what's the rating on these? I forgot now, Nick. Not sure, it doesn't say. I think they're rated for 214, I think. That rings a bell. Anyway, put that back. So now there's nothing stopping them from working, so they should work. I'm not going to put them back together just yet because I need to take the temperatures of the heating plates, and it's easier when they're open like that. There we go. So plug it in, make sure they're off first, which they are. Right, so when I plug that in now, that should beep and then that should glow orange. There we go. And it's pulsating orange now. There we go. And both of them plates are hot. And when it reaches temperature, it should beep and then that should stay orange. Let's see what happens. One, two, three. That stays orange. Right, what I'm going to do now is a bit rudimental this because I haven't got anything better, but I've got let me have a look. So that's saying 190, which is a little bit off. What's that saying? 190, so they're matched temperature wise, so can you see that? 192, so they're running a little bit high. But they're doing fine actually. So I'm just going to leave them on now for half an hour. And then in half an hour the safety cut-off should kick in. And it should switch them off then. That should then, they should start beeping. And then I think that, I'm not sure what that does. I don't know if that pulsates again. I'm not sure. But yeah, that safety feature is purely if you leave your straighteners on and then you go out or something like that, you know that they're going to switch off. I do that on every single straightener that I get and make sure that they switch off. And if they don't, it's your little PIC microprocessor on the board. So yeah, that's essentially it. I'll test them once it passes everything. I'll put them all back together, clean them up. In fact, I'll clean them up now while it's running. Yeah, put them all back together and just check everything. Make sure they pass a pat test. I'll take them into work and get them pat tested. And then yeah, happy days. So yeah, that was just a quick one. So thank you for watching, and I'll be back another time.